Hi, I'm Alicia and welcome to the Mintay Papers YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing a beautiful layout that I created with one of the brand new Mintay Papers called Nana's Kitchen. I used the 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper set. I also used the spring chippy, one of my favorites, the window chippy, one of my other favorites, and the quotes chippy to create this beautiful layout with lots and lots of layers and beautiful floral clusters, and it really was a joy to create. I'm going to take you step by step through the process of how I created this layout, so let's get started. So I'm starting this layout with a cute little photograph of a girl and her nana in the kitchen, which I thought was perfect for this collection of papers because they're so vintage. I really loved this window here and I wanted to fussy cut this section out and use it on my layout. I really liked the shape of this window. To be honest though, I had a really hard time choosing which papers to use because there are so many amazing papers in this collection. So I cut that out and I'm actually restricting myself for this layout to only use the 12 by 12 scrapbook papers and the chippies. I'm not using any of the die cuts so that you can purchase the 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper set and recreate this layout. I really like this little cupboard here. This little kitchen hutch, so I'm cutting that out from the papers. I'm going to use that as a layer on my layout. I really like the feel of the Nana's Kitchen collection because there's something so special about your Nana's kitchen. All of the things that have been there for so long, and all the memories, all of the recipes that were cooked there with love. It's just such a lovely romantic idea, and that's why I chose a photograph of the little girl with her grandma in the kitchen. So here I am, I've cut out the window, I've cut out the little cupboard, and I've got my photograph. And I'm thinking about what background paper that I might use, what I might layer my photograph on. This page here is little sort of recipe note card papers, so I might use that. So I'm liking the way it's going so far. I'm just going to choose this page here as my background page, which is really nice green. Now this is such a beautiful, beautiful chippy. I have a bit of an obsession with windows. I love windows. I especially love the windows like this that have the shutters and the little bits, the bits in between. So I'm popping that on the background of my layout for extra texture, extra detail. I'm also going to use one of these little shutters as well, probably on the other side. I'm just cutting out the bottom here of the page. I wasn't sure whether I would cut that out or whether I would leave that as it was, but I've decided that it will look nice fussy cut out. And I'm looking at trimming down this side piece here so that I have enough room. Because I want to have a little bit of my window showing on the left hand side. There we go, that's looking really cute. Right, I'm looking at cutting off this little bit here at the top. There we go. And that way I will see my shutter a little bit more. So it was just a lot of playing around really as I was going, you know, trying to decide how I would design it. And yeah, there's so much freedom in creating a layout. You don't need to do it exactly the same as this. You can just use this video as inspiration to get you started. I was trying to use as many things as I could here to really make it as pretty as possible with lots and lots of layers on my layout. I'm thinking about using this floral cluster up here in the corner, and I cut that out. So I'm happy now to glue on this window. I'm happy with its position. I like it being there. You could always use the chalk paint to paint your chippies if you wanted to. For this layout, I chose not to paint my chippies with the Mintay Creative chalk paint, just because I kind of felt the natural color of the chippies suited the papers anyway, the vintage feel. I just inked around the edges of my little pieces here to give them more of that vintage feel. You can also ink your chipboard if you would like to. The extra little pieces of chipboard scraps can be used to put at the back of your papers to create a little bit more elevation. And just to even it out, because we've got the chippy on one side and we don't want it to be on a sort of slide going down the hill, if you know what I mean. We want our window here to be nice and flat. So thinking about here, adding my shutter on, just adding a little bit of extra chippy there so that the height is correct. And then I'm deciding where to place this really pretty floral cluster and this beautiful little cupboard or buffet and hutch. Of course, you wouldn't have to use the buffet and hutch if you didn't want to. It's just an extra piece that is going to create more dimension in your layout. Just inking around the edges. I'm adding a big piece of lace into this project because I would like to create a little bit of contrast with the papers. So lace is a really good way of adding something different in. Just looking for another little floral cluster that I could cut and paste in there just to sort of fill in that little gap there. There we go. That's looking really pretty. Put a little bit of recycled chipboard there just to give it a bit more height. And then our little cupboard will go on top. If you're not interested in adding lots and lots of layers, you can leave some of these layers out. And if you don't want any thickness in your layout, if you're putting it in an album, you want to keep the chipboard to a minimum so that it can fit inside the sleeve of your album. that's looking really pretty. I'm happy with that there. I think that looks really, really nice. And now my photograph. I might trim my photo down a little bit because there's quite a bit of black there at the bottom. I probably don't need that in my layout. I can cut that off. So I'm just adding my photo onto the photo mounting paper that I've chosen. And I was thinking about adding some of that plate paper as well as a possibility for layering. Just going to trim it down a little bit. So I'm happy with this so far. Now I'm adding in some of the spring chippies in the banners. They've got these really cute little banners or bunting in the spring chippy, and I really love this chippy. It's really versatile. You can use it on lots and lots of different projects. Just popping my photo down. And here I am with the spring chippy. I'm going to get some more banners. You can see how pretty this chippy is. It's got beautiful banners and it's also got beautiful floral clusters. So just deciding where to put those, one at the top right hand corner and one just below the photo. And then I'm getting some of these little flowers from out of the spring chippy, and I'm just going to layer them in and under all of my paper layers to just add a little bit more dimension and a little bit more interest. A variety of textures. I'm adding a little bit of lace on this side as well to balance it out. And some more chippies. And then I'm just gluing on my wooden banner and my lace. So I'm just working through and I'm gluing down my chipboard pieces, my little flowers. Once I'm happy, I'm going to glue down my photograph. I'm cutting some ribbon for the ends of my little bunting at the top here to just give it a little bit more of a shabby chic feel to the layout, a little bit more texture. I'm using a sentiment this one here, You and Me. It's from the quotes, Mintay Chippies. I'm just getting it out carefully with a little blade, and I'm going to stick it there in the corner. And I'm really liking the way this layout is looking. It's really sweet. It kind of looks like you're looking in to a window of a kitchen. Instead of using die cuts, I'm using the cut apart sheet that comes with the 12 by 12. And I'm picking out the floral clusters so that I can add some more flowers onto my layout. So I fussy cut all of those out, and I'm going to add those to the corners of my photograph. So let's glue that photograph down. We'll put our flowers on the corners of the photograph on top of our ribbon. It's looking really pretty. I'm really happy with it. I'm thinking about maybe adding some of these small little flowers in. Just playing around, seeing what I like. Maybe I'll put some more flowers down here. A little twine bow in there perhaps. And I think I'm really happy with it. Just sort of playing around to see if I need anything else on my layout, whether I'm happy with it as it is. Little flower there and a little flower there. And I think that is the completed layout. It's such a pretty layout. There's so many beautiful things to look at. It's a beautiful collection, the Nana's Kitchen collection by Mintay. I'd love you to have a try at my layout. I hope you found this video inspiring and that you get your 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper set for Nana's Kitchen and create with it. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the Mintay Papers YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely crafty day.